Alright, hello everyone, I hope you are all well. In today's video I do actually want to make somewhat of a return to No Man's Sky, maybe for 1 or 2 videos, to talk about the future of No Man's Sky, and more specifically to have one of these big fat speculation rambles which I haven't really done in quite a while now. The area of topic which I want to focus on is No Man's Sky in 2020, and more specifically how I think the game will get updated, what the updates will entail, and all of that good stuff. Now it is important to remember that obviously a lot of this is kind of common sense and a lot of basic judgments. I haven't really gone around, rooting facts and trying to pick up evidence for it. It is of course speculation, but at the same time it's also grounded in reality. So for old time's sake, let's just have a big fucking speculation-a-thon, a big messy one. I hope you enjoy. Alright, first of all, we have already had confirmation directly from Hello Games in one of their development updates that 2020 will see some form of updates to No Man's Sky. Now we have already received confirmation that one of these is going to be in the near future, so possibly about a month to 2 months, and Hello Games also said that they have a lot more planned for the year. So before we even get into the speculation, it's important to note that updates will be coming for No Man's Sky. However, this is where a lot of the confusion starts to come into place. Because No Man's Sky is now in a place where it has significant game content, at least enough for it to be classed as a game and not a tech demo like we were sold in 2016, the debate on the size and complexity of updates is always brought up. By this I mean Hello Games have infamously waited 5 to 6 months and then dropped a big fat update which basically solves a huge group of issues or adds a large quantity of features. That is what we had gotten used to, particularly with 1.3 and Next, and also what was the other one? Beyond. I literally forgot the name, it was such a pointless update. However, whilst we were receiving these big updates, we were also getting some smaller updates where we didn't really have to wait as much time in order to receive them. I'm of course talking about Synthesis, the Abyss update, and Visions. So we have had a little bit of both really. We've had a lot of experience with having big fat updates with large waits in between, usually a lot of radio silence, and we have also had periods of time where we had a new smaller update every 2 or so months. Now I want to begin by explaining my thought process behind why I think Hello Games aren't going to do more than one large update this year. First and foremost, No Man's Sky is now in a place where it doesn't really need big updates. No Man's Sky has a lot to it at the moment. The game has content, it has stuff to do, and yes, there are still areas of improvement, but I think for a lot of people, they would be fairly satisfied with what they have. Obviously, what we have is not exceeding our expectations, but it is definitely passable, and it's definitely an improvement over whatever the fuck we got at launch. So because of this, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary for Hello Games to focus on releasing a big update every 5 to 6 months. However, the only exception with this is of course the variation update. This is something which I will get onto in just a second, but I do just want to make it clear that I think this will be the last major update for No Man's Sky. I sincerely hope that once we do receive this variation update, we will simply get small content updates or bug fixes every couple months. This would be absolutely perfect for No Man's Sky, and honestly, considering the state of the game at the moment, I genuinely don't think it will be that difficult to achieve. I remember back when we were getting updates like Visions and the Abyss update, and that frequency of the updates was actually really fucking nice. Even though the content wasn't as extensive as say Next or 1.3 or what have you, it was still nice to get a frequent update ever so often. So now that we've established that, let's move on to the elephant in the room. The variation update for No Man's Sky. Now I want to start this off by saying Hello Games are definitely working on some kind of variation update. Now, there are a lot of reasons why I think No Man's Sky will receive a variation update in 2020. The first one being what I literally just talked about. Variation is basically the one thing holding No Man's Sky back from being a fucking incredible game. No Man's Sky as it stands is a good game. It has content, it has stuff to do in it. However, the premise of the game, the foundation of the game is exploration. That is what the game is built upon. The excitement of exploring endless planets with endless possibilities and so on and so forth. In the current state of the game, variation is lacking. However, variation is still passable. It's acceptable, but it's not quite what we still wanted from 2016. Now, I am very, very confident that Hello Games are fully aware of this, because Hello Games listened to the community. For example, the Visions update. The Visions update was basically conceived out of the community coming together saying we want more colour and we want more variation. Hello Games delivered on that. Since basically day one, so we're talking nearly 4 years this summer, we have been asking for a variation overhaul, or to have the variation of pre-release or E3 trailers, or really just anything better than what we currently have. The fact that variation has also been somewhat downgraded from previous builds in terms of terrain and colours is a topic for probably another video if I really want to delve into that again. But what I'm trying to get at here is that this is the final thing. This will be the final thing that will push No Man's Sky into the bracket of games that are fucking incredible. Now, when talking about a variation update, it's obviously important to think about the size of the update, and this is where a lot of speculation starts to come into play. My personal standpoint and how I sit with this whole variation issue is the fact that I'm a firm believer that Hello Games have indeed been working on a variation overhaul since basically day one. I am convinced that Hello Games, since the launch of No Man's Sky, has had some kind of sub-team or a few members which kind of switch in and out of developing a huge variation overhaul that will completely change the game. I think it's incredibly likely that Hello Games are just playing it smart. I think that they have been making something on and off for 3 years and they just haven't said anything about it. We know that this is entirely possible. That is how they work. That is how they create content, by simply doing it without telling anyone until it's absolutely ready. And that could be the reason why, still to this day, we haven't had a major update that just focuses on variation. And it is not even a possibility that Hello Games are not working on it, because as I said, they listen to the community, they know what's going on, and they're fully aware that people want variation. Therefore, the only logical conclusion to take from this is the fact that they are working on something. They have been working on something, and maybe that something will be coming in the near future, especially with all of the changes to the engine and the audio and the framework. It all seems to kind of lead to this point whereby there is expected to be an upgrade of some sorts. Now, one final thing which I do want to touch on is the fact that No Man's Sky could indeed come out for the next generation of consoles, okay? Hear me out. I made a whole other video talking about the likelihood of this, but to sum it up in basic English, No Man's Sky was a PlayStation 4 exclusive. It was a major selling point for the PlayStation 4. A lot of people wanted that console because No Man's Sky was only on that console. Now, it is definitely possible that for the future, when the PlayStation 5 releases, or maybe the new Xbox, whatever that is called, which bearing in mind is only the end of the year, I'm pretty sure a little bit before Christmas, No Man's Sky could receive a sort of upgrade, a sort of remaster, or maybe even just a porting to the next generation, whereby Hello Games are able to do more with updates, they're able to fix more, they can maybe patch up their engine and essentially start from scratch with newer hardware. And especially considering that a great portion of cut content for No Man's Sky was likely down to stuff not being ready and also hardware limitations, it is very possible that they are considering, or maybe are even currently working on, a remaster of some sorts, a reboot for the next generation, whereby they are setting out to do exactly what they wanted 4 years ago, and everyone is going to fucking love it. That is my speculation for 2020. Alongside a variation update and a possible next gen release, I think it is also fairly likely to receive some kind of combat update, or an update update which makes fighting more meaningful, perhaps a loot update with, you know, certain drops and rarities and things like that. Hopefully this video was a little bit of a blast from the past, and I know I'm really fucking shit at doing these kind of videos now because all of the other stuff I've been recording is not like this whatsoever. It's very unprofessional compared to what they used to be, but hopefully you still enjoyed regardless. Anyway guys, please do let me know what you think on the matter in the comment section, oh god, of the video. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Please do take care, and I'll see you soon.